Good afternoon, everyone. I am coming to you today from the town of Wauconda, Illinois. Wauconda forever! As of right now, I have 4 rides that start from Lakewood Forest Preserve in Lake County, Illinois. And in the year 2021, I've been able to do 3 of the 4. So as I'm under somewhat of a time constraint today, I am going to be doing the ride that I have not yet ridden this year. That's the one that starts at Lakewood Forest Preserve and makes its way all the way to Lake Michigan in Lake Bluff, Illinois. So that's the ride for today. The last time I rode this ride, we incorporated it into a dinner ride, and we actually got back so late that I learned that my headlight was not sufficient for curves and hills right in the middle of the woods, which is what you have here at Lakewood Forest Preserve. So immediately after that ride, I went out and bought a secondary light so I could throw some more light at the situation, because it was pretty damn dark, even with the headlight that the Rad Rover 5 comes with. So the ride today is about 16 miles down, 16 miles back, making for a 32-mile round trip. We're going to be passing some other trails, including the Des Plaines River Trail, so I'll point that out when we pass it. The route today starts with the Millennium Trail, and then we're going to head east. The Millennium Trail is going to end. There's this little section we're going to have to do that's on sidewalks, and then it reconnects with the North Shore bike path. We're going to take that all the way east to where it ends at the Robert Mcclory bike path, which runs north and south. And at that point, we are in Lake Bluff, Illinois, and all we have to do is go down this street called, I believe it's Scranton Drive, and head east all the way to where it ends. And where it ends is basically at a bluff by Lake Michigan. So let's get started. Now, if you guys saw my recent video that shows a ride that starts here at Lakewood and makes its way to Independence Grove, and then it's a partial loop and then makes its way back, you'll remember this section. So even though it's not marked on the map, what I plan to do here is follow this side to make the turn on the way out. On the way back, I'm going to come along this side, just because I'm a fan of not having to do a complete backtrack. So if there's little side trails along the way, I'll usually hit those on the way back. Okay, so that was Lakewood Forest Preserve. Now we're out on the Millennium Trail, where it's right next to Hawley Street. And they got a map here. So we started the trail here in Lakewood. We went about the 2.8 miles through this trail system. We're right at where the star is right here. So we're going to be following the trail east and keep going until there is no more trail. I wanted to add, if you live in Lake County or somewhere in the general vicinity of Lake County and you haven't been to Lakewood Forest Preserve, again, I have 4 different rides. Hopefully by next year I'll add a couple more as I try and create some more rides. But even the little 2.8 mile stretch that I just did is a ton of fun. Well, welcome to Mundelein, Illinois. We're right at the Mundelein High School here. I stopped because this is a trail intersection here. If we were to turn left and start heading north, we would be on the Prairie Crossing bike path. I do have 2 separate rides that do head north on the Prairie Crossing bike path. One that will take you to Rollins Savannah Forest Preserve, and the other one does a loop around Independence Grove on the Overlook Trail. If you are interested in seeing either of those rides, go ahead and click those info cards above. Okay, so this is where the Millennium Bike Trail officially ends. So as I understand it, they are trying to connect the end of this trail to the other side of the North Shore bike path. But as it is right now, there are sidewalks that you're able to do. In order to do that, we're gonna have to cross this intersection this way and then keep heading east. I can show you on the map here, we're right here at the blue dot. And we're just gonna follow the section all the way up to here. And then we're gonna hop on this street and then hop on the North Shore bike path. So the section that we're on just sidewalk without trail is actually pretty small. Okay, so we have made it to the west end of the North Shore bike path here. So we're going to take it all the way east into where it ends at Robert Mcclory Bike Trail. That section on the sidewalk is actually not that difficult. I have actually been stopped by a train before there, so be aware that there are train tracks. It's an active metro line. So the sidewalk portion was easy to manage. It's on the way back. There's a few spots where you really have to watch out to make sure a car's not going to dart out because you're along the side of the building. And then at any point a car can dart out. So you just have to make sure you slow down, you get a good look before you cross, because I imagine those are the spots that you would run into trouble if there's a car that's not paying attention. So, so here's the sign, North Shore Bike Path East. So that's where we're headed. So right now it's Saturday. It's about 75 degrees. So I'm still in shorts, which is awesome for, I guess, almost mid-October. I'm not sure exactly how many of these weekends we're gonna have left that are going to be rideable. Last year, I was able to get some weekend rides in November, and we had one weekend in December where the temperature, I believe, was like 62 degrees, so definitely rideable. So I'm gonna try and schedule some rides. As I mentioned earlier, I am under a time constraint today, so I couldn't drive very far to start the ride. Tomorrow, I'm under less of a time constraint. So my plan for tomorrow, hang on, let me not get run over here. Okay, so my plan for tomorrow is to start from the Fabian Windmill and do a new loop that I created that takes me on a portion of the Illinois Prairie Path that I have not been on yet. So I will be covering some new ground. So I'm always a big fan of covering new ground on rides, so that's good. So the North Shore bike path is paved the entire way. As you can see, it's pretty wide for a paved trail, so that's good. The only downside to it is there are a couple crossings at major roads. So you can't just cut straight across that major road. They want you to go to the intersection, cross there, and then make your way back. I call those U-bends because I don't know if there's actually terminology for it, but you have to make like a U, going out of your way to cross and then go back to the trail and continue in the direction you're headed. So we got a couple of those. I'm not a big fan of those, but that's what you have to deal with when you're on the North Shore bike path. Okay, so we're coming across the first U-bend at Butterfield Road. Right before that, when you're heading east, there's an ice cream place right here. So I'll be checking that place out on the way back. It's one of the places I like to stop on the way back, get a little treat. Okay, so I stopped on the bridge here so you guys could see we are just above the Des Plaines River Trail. Right now we're looking south. If you go under Route 176 here, you'll come out over on that side, and then you can make your way all the way north to Russell Road, which is near the Wisconsin border. Okay, so just a quick stop at the new map here. They want your input. My input right off the bat is I do not like maps that aren't north up. So as you could see here, it's east up, so north is this way. I'm not a big fan of that. But so we are right here, just past the Des Plaines River Trail. As you can see it heading north this way and south, and then it just makes its way into Cook County. So we have, looks like 4.5 miles to go until the Robert Mcclory bike path, and we're gonna hop on that. Now, the last time I was on the Robert Mcclory bike path, it feels like it might have been around May or June. That bike path, there was a bridge that you have to cross, which was completely closed. So I don't know if there's gonna be construction there still or not, but it's definitely a possibility. So the Middle Fork Trail is something I have not been on yet. I'm not sure exactly how long this is, but it's something I'm gonna definitely try at some point. If not this year, then next year for sure. And then they also have the Skokie Valley bike path. So I created a smaller loop where we parked somewhere over here and then hopped on the Skokie Valley bike path, took it all the way to Lake Cook Road, which is off map, came back up, and then went this way. We actually stopped somewhere else to see the Lake Michigan. And then we made our way back to this intersection and back down. So if you are interested in seeing what that ride looks like, go ahead and click that info card above. This is the trail access for the Des Plaines River Trail. So basically you'll go down this little connector path and dead end. If you hang a left, you're gonna be going south. If you hang a right, you're gonna be headed north. The Des Plaines River Trail is one of Lake County's finest trails. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely check that out. Okay, so I stopped because we are at another trail intersection here. If we were to turn right here, we'd be going south on the Skokie Valley bike path. I also wanted to point out we're 14.4 miles into the ride according to the bike, 14.2 according to AllTrails. We're the blue dot here. Lake Michigan is right here, so we're getting really close to the end of this trail. The trail ends right here. So as I mentioned before, I don't know if there's construction still on that bridge or if that bridge is open or closed, so we're going to find out. And then we're going to make our way to Lake Michigan. Okay, so that was it for the North Shore bike path. We are currently on the Robert Mcclory bike path. We're looking north here. That whole section that was closed off earlier in the year, it looks to be done. It used to be a very narrow bridge that was like covered with chain link fence, so it was like you're in a cage. It's definitely wider now, so that's a good improvement here. So we're only going to be on this trail for a little bit, and then we're going to turn right and make our way to Lake Michigan. Okay, welcome to Lake Bluff, Illinois. We're at the intersection of Sheridan Road and Scranton Avenue. Looks like this road here, Scranton Avenue, is closed off at this point. Looks like they have a tent set up. They definitely have a car show going on. There's a porta potty here. I can't tell you if it's here just for whatever's going on under this tent or if they keep it here all summer, but it's the first porta potty I've seen since we left Lakewood Forest Preserve, so that was a good thing. It's at this point where you could hop on Scranton Avenue. When you cross to get here, you're going to cross right here. You could actually take this sidewalk to where it ends and then get onto the street. Since I'm already over here by the porta potty, I'm just going to cut through this little gap and head down this way towards the car show. Hopefully I can make it all the way through. I saw some caution tape down there. Okay, so that's the first time where we've had a major event down this street. Lots of very cool looking cars. I talked to the security guys at the end there to ask if we're okay riding bikes through that, and they're like, yes, so that's not an issue. So we're just on Scranton Avenue. I'm just taking up the whole lane here because there's nobody behind me. And where it dead ends is basically at Lake Michigan, or at the Bluff. There are a ton of amazing looking houses in this area. So you could definitely go off the beaten path and go on some of these roads, or I should say side streets. They have some really good looking houses. All sorts of different architectural styles too. It's a really cool area. Okay, so we've made it. We're in Lake Bluff, Illinois, at Lake Michigan. Can't really go much further east. There is a beach down there. I believe that beach is like residents only kind of thing. As we rode right past the parking lot to get in, there weren't any people attending to that lot. Normally that's where they're going to charge you. I see that so the beach is closed for the season. There's no lifeguard on duty. Now, that said, I see people walking down, and I already saw a couple guys on bikes. So I'm gonna go down there just to see what I can see, because normally I'm not able to get all the way down to the beach from here. And if there is a fee for non-residents, I definitely don't want to pay the fee just to look at the water. So, all right, let's see how far we can go. So as I said before, this is the first time I'm down here. I did see a couple porta potties. They do have a sheltered area with picnic tables. Obviously here's the beach right here. They have rocks. But there's a total other side to this area here, which is over that way. So I'm gonna go over there and see what I can find over there. The sand is nice and mushy, but the 4-inch tires and the very slow speed were obviously making it so it's not a problem. That hill to come down was pretty steep, so I'm gonna be very thankful to have an e-bike when I make my way back up that hill. Okay, so that's the most sand I've ever ridden in before. Not that I have a lot of opportunities to ride in sand in northern Illinois. Not often at the beach here at Lake Michigan. Okay, we're back up at the top here. I was very excited to get down to the beach since I had not been able to do that before. So now at this point, we're just gonna start heading back. We're gonna make our way down Scranton Avenue here, right through that car show again. And if I could find a beer that is relatively close, I'll probably stop and grab a beer also, and then start making my way back. As usual, when given an opportunity, I like to recognize Old Glory, waving in the breeze, as she should. So Lake Bluff is a pretty cool place to check out for those that haven't been here before. And it's especially exciting when you have some sort of event going on, because there's a ton of people here. Okay, I'm back on the North Shore bike path. I'm headed west now. I was unable to get a beer. I was not comfortable leaving the bike. I'd have to go into the bar in order to get something. I was hoping they'd have a tent set up, but I wasn't comfortable leaving the bike with all those people, and I didn't want to deal with having to lock it up. So that's why a lot of these rides would be perfect for 2 people, because then you could pretty much stop anywhere. Because one of the things about this particular ride is the lack of restrooms. So as it turned out, we had access to the beach, which was good, and they had the porta potty out right by that car show, which was good. But otherwise, you'd have to go into Target or go into Walgreens or into a gas station or something like that, because you have no porta potties or anything the entirety of the ride once you leave Lakewood Forest Preserve. The road condition, or I should say the trail condition, is great. Obviously a lot of leaves on the ground this time of year. Got to watch out for that. You never know quite what's under those. So approach with caution if you don't know what type of terrain you are riding on. So of the 4 rides that I have that start from Lakewood Forest Preserve, this one is the one with the least amount of restrooms. But you do make up for it with a gigantic lake, being Lake Michigan. So that's always a cool view when I get over there. I rarely get over all the way to Lake Michigan.